Guys, we're getting into Proverbs 21 to 25 today, and then we will only have 6 chapters left, and then we're going to be starting Ecclesiastes. Okay, here we go. Chapter 21. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord. He directs it like water course wherever he pleases. All a man's ways seem right to him, but the Lord weighs the heart. To do what is right and just is more acceptable to the Lord than sacrifice. Haughty eyes and a proud heart, the lamp of the wicked, are sin. The plans of the diligent lead to profit, as surely as haste leads to poverty. A fortune made by lying tongue is a fleeting vapor and a deadly snare. The violence of the wicked will drag them away, for they refuse to do what is right. The way of the guilty is devious, but the conduct of the innocent is upright. Better to live on a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. The wicked man craves evil. Do you hear that, guys? Better to live on a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. So he doesn't say divorce your quarrelsome wife. He says live on the fucking roof. Okay. The wicked man craves evil. His neighbor gets no mercy from him. When a mocker is punished, the simple gain wisdom. When a wise man is instructed, he gets knowledge. The righteous one takes note of the house of the wicked and brings the wicked to ruin. If a man shuts his ears to the cry of the poor, he too will cry out and not be answered. A gift given in secret soothes anger, and a bribe concealed in the cloak pacifies great wrath. When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to evildoers. A man who strays from the path of understanding comes to rest in the company of the dead. He who loves pleasure will become poor. Whoever loves wine and oil will never be rich. The wicked become a ransom for the righteous, and the unfaithful for the upright. Better to live in a desert than with a quarrelsome and ill-tempered wife. Again, if you can't even handle living on the roof with this woman, don't divorce her. Go to the desert. Okay. In the house of the wise are stores of choice food and oil, but a foolish man devours all he has. He who pursues righteousness and love finds life, prosperity, and honor. A wise man attacks the city of the mighty and pulls down the stronghold in which they trust. He who guards his mouth and his tongue keeps himself from calamity. The proud and arrogant man mocker is his name. He behaves with overweening pride. The sluggard's craving will be the death of him. Because his hands refuse to work all day long, he craves for more. But the righteous give without sparing. The sacrifice of the wicked is detestable. How much more so when brought with evil intent? A false witness will perish, and whoever listens to him will be destroyed forever. A wicked man puts up a bold front, but an upright man gives thought to his ways. There is no wisdom, no insight, no plan that can succeed against the Lord. The horse is made ready for the day of battle, but victory rests with the Lord. Chapter 22. A good name is more desirable than great riches. To be esteemed is better than silver or gold. Rich and poor have this in common. The Lord is the maker of them all. A prudent man sees danger and takes refuge, but the simple keep going and suffer for it. Humility and the fear of the Lord bring wealth and honor and life. In the paths of the wicked lie thorns and snares, but he who guards his soul stays far from them. Train a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not turn from it. The rich rule over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. He who sows wickedness reaps trouble, and the rod of his fury will be destroyed. A generous man will himself be blessed, for he shares his food with the poor. Drive out the mocker, and out goes strife. Quarrels and insults are ended. He who loves a pure heart and whose speech is gracious will have the king for his friend. You too. Candace, are you allowed up there? Get down. Good girl. The eyes of the Lord keep watch over knowledge, but he frustrates the words of the unfaithful. The sluggard says, there is a lion outside, or I will be murdered in the streets. The mouth of an adulteress is a deep pit. He who is under the Lord's wrath will fall into it. Folly is bound up in the heart of a child, but the rod of discipline will drive it far from him. He who oppresses the poor to increase his wealth, and he who gives gifts to the rich both come to poverty. Sayings of the wise. First title in a while, guys. Pay attention and listen to the saying of the wise. Apply your heart to what I teach, for it is pleasing when you keep them in your heart and have all of them ready on your lips, so that you trust your trust may be in the Lord. I teach you today, even you, have I not written the 30 sayings for you? Sayings of counsel and knowledge, teaching you true and reliable words, so that you can give sound and answers to him who sent you? Do not exploit the poor because they are poor, and do not crush the needy in court, for the Lord will take up their case and will plunder those who plunder them. Do not make friends with a hot tempered man. Do not associate with one easily angered, or you may learn his ways and go get yourself snared. Do not be a man who strikes hands in pledge or puts up security for debts. If you lack the means to pay, your very bed will be snatched from under you. Do not move an ancient boundary stone set up by your forefathers. Do you see a man skilled in his work? He will serve before kings. He will not serve before obscure men. Get that, guys? We serve kings, not presidents, not fucking police officers, not fucking government officials. Like, we serve kings. Kings, guys. This is key when the new earth comes, because we're going to have 10 kings that we serve. I don't know if they're going to be scattered around everywhere. There's supposed to be a new Jerusalem. I am assuming it's not in the same freaking spot, but like, I don't know. And originally God was going to take away water, and he told me he's not going to do that anymore. So like, that part in Revelation is going to be a surprise for everyone. But like, kings, we serve kings. Okay. Chapter 23. When you sit to dine with a ruler, note well what is before you, and put a knife in your throat if you are given to gluttony. Do not crave his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. Do not wear yourself out to get rich. Have the wisdom to show restraint. Cast but a glance at riches, and they are gone, for they will surely sprout wings and fly off to the sky like an eagle. Do not eat the food of a steamy man. Do not crave his delicacies, for he is the kind of man who is always thinking about the cost. Eat and drink, he says to you, but his heart is not with you. You will vomit up the little you have eaten and will have wasted your compliments. Do not speak to a fool, for he will scorn the wisdom of your words. Do not move an ancient boundary stone or encroach on the fields of the fatherless, for their defender is strong. He will take up their case against you. Apply your heart to instruction and your ears to words of knowledge. Do not withhold discipline from a child. If you punish him with the rod, he will not die. Punish him with the rod and save his soul from death. My son, if your heart is wise, then my heart will be glad. In my inmost being will rejoice when your lips speak what is right. Do not let your heart envy sinners, but always be zealous for the fear of the Lord. There is surely a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. Listen, my son, and be wise, and keep your heart on the right path. Do not join those who drink too much wine or gorge themselves on meat, for drunkards and gluttons become poor, and drowsiness clothes them in rags. Listen to your father who gave you life, and do not despise your mother when she is old. Busy the truth and do not sell it. Get wisdom, discipline, and understanding. The father of a righteous man has great joy. He who has a wise son delights in him. May your father and mother be glad. May she who gave you birth rejoice. My son, give me your heart, and let your eyes keep to my ways, for a prostitute is a deep pit, and a wayward wife is a narrow well. Like a bandit, she lies in wait and multiplies the unfaithful among men. Who has woe? Who has sorrow? Who has strife? Who has complaints? Who has needless bruises? Who has bloodshot eyes? Those who linger over wine, who go to sample bowls of mixed wine. Do not gaze at wine when it is red, when it sparkles in the cup, when it goes down smoothly. In the end, it bites like a snake and poisons like a viper. Your eyes will see strange sights, and your mind imagine confusing things. You will be like one sleeping on the high seas, lying on top of the rigging. They hit me, you will say, but I'm not hurt. They beat me, but I don't feel it. When will I wake up so I can find another drink? Okay, guys. So I have a devotion. So this is verses Proverbs 22, verse 17. Passage is Proverbs 22, verse 17 to 29. And then the author is Marjorie Holmes. Teach me what I need to know. Everybody should have a friend like Ralph. He can fix a lamp or a lawnmower, refinish furniture, build bookshelves, all by himself. He has transformed his garage into a workshop and completely remodeled his mother's house. One day, marveling at these results over coffee, I asked Ralph, where did you learn to do all this? Who taught you? Your father? Thoughtfully, he sipped his coffee, his blue eyes twinkling. I never knew my father, he said, but I did meet a good carpenter a long time ago, and he still helps me. In fact, every time I have a problem, all I have to do is stop and ask him, teach me what I need to know. And he does. This morning, for instance, those boards just wouldn't work. But after I stopped and asked him, what am I doing wrong? The answer came. I was cutting them too short. Then Ralph gave me the words of his own special prayer. Jesus, stand beside me. Guide and direct my life. Teach me what I need to know. Help me with my work. Let me serve you and others that I may be worthy of God's grace. Ralph's special prayer has become a part of my own life now. I say it every morning and all day long. Whenever I'm anxious or confused about a situation, one phrase of the prayer comes to my rescue. Teach me what I need to know. Of all the things Ralph has done to help me, his prayer has helped most of all. Okay, so I just have a quick story and then we'll get into chapter 24. Okay, so I'm very well educated. Like, I don't have a master's degree. I married somebody with a master's degree. And like it doesn't matter like how much education you have, because I've met very stupid doctors and lawyers, and like I've met very like stupid like CEOs who have like way too much fun, and like pastors. I've met moronic pastors, okay, who have like years and years of training in the Bible, and they still don't even have a relationship with God, and it's freaking embarrassing. And a lot of WELS pastors are like this, guys. There are good WELS pastors. There are good pastors everywhere. But there are also really bad pastors. I've met terrible Catholic pastors. I've met terrible WELS pastors. I've met terrible pastors of all of our man-made religions. And I've met a really good Jewish rabbi. I haven't actually met a bad Jewish rabbi. I've met two, and both of them were very wise and very cool. One of them read the entire New Testament, still does not practice or believe it, but he read it. He educated himself on the New Testament because it was God's word and it was important and he wanted to know about it. And he married a lawyer, which makes him even cooler. So like there are people who like get upset with me, like, because I tend to be very like selective with the jobs I pick. Like, there was a time in my life, like when I graduated from college, where I just took any job, like any job whatsoever. And then it was like years go by and I'm stuck in this dead end job, and it's not helping me in my degree that I got. It's not helping with, and it's very frustrating. It's frustrating to go to school that long, to spend all that time, all that money, all that education, and to work like as a secretary or as like whatever. Like, so I just like, I had this conversation with my friend who has a high school degree. That's it. That's all he has. And like, he has a lot of opinions about stuff. And like, we argue about everything. Like, we literally argue. Like, he's one of my really good friends. We're not talking right now. We had a little bit of a falling out. But he's one of my best friends in Texas. And like, he's not the most intelligent crayon in the box, like at all. Not at all. Like, if he would have gone to college, or he would have actually like applied himself and got a job like as a chef, which he would be really good at. That's something he was very passionate about, but he doesn't freaking do it. He just lives off government from the like survivor benefits of his dead wife who had COVID. Like, and he's not a good role model to his sons. He drinks way too freaking much. Like, his mother-in-law is like trying to get custody of his kids, and I think they should have joint custody. Like, I honestly, at the end of the day, after spending time with him and seeing how he acts around his sons, seeing how rules I ask his children to follow in my home, and he chooses not to do them, whether they're here or not. And then when his son calls him out on it, and he corrects his son and tells his son, like literally tells his son, are you ratting me out right now? Are you tattling on me? That's his attitude. He's an immature douchebag. He's an immature freaking douchebag. That is not how a father talks to his child. This is like, he spoils the shit out of them. Like, he gives them shit they don't even freaking need. It's like his like way to express himself is to just throw money at it. And he doesn't even he's on fucking food stamps. Like, anyway. And he subscribes to like he's got HBO Showtime. Like, he's generous with them, like shares his accounts with them, shares other, like whatever. But like he just like, he's got like a Fire Stick. Don't even get me started about Fire Stick, guys. They're fucking shady, crooked shit. Don't fucking buy a Fire Stick. Okay, get Roku. Like, be like a self-respecting human being and purchase a Roku at a store. They don't give you codes and shit that you can enter in to get shit illegally like the fucking Fire Stick does. A Fire Stick is a fucking devil. It's literally a Fire Stick. Think about it. Think about the name of shit that you buy, okay? If it has like some fucked up name like Fire Stick, when it sounds literally like fire coming out of a stick, like it's a fucking torch, maybe it's a fucking maybe it's a fucking demon stick. I don't fucking know, but it sounds illegal and shady just by the name. And then you do your research and it is fucking shady and illegal. So don't get rid of your fucking fire sticks, you illegal assholes. Okay, so like anyway, so he's like telling me like because I was looking for a job here, and he's like telling me like, oh, are you too good to work at a restaurant, or are you too good to do this? And I'm like, no, I'm not too good for any of those jobs, but I have an education that I spent a lot of time and money on, that I spent literally like 10 years paying off my student loans. So why the fuck, if I could work in journalism, I could work in marketing, I could work using my degree that I worked my fucking ass off to earn, why the fuck would I wait fucking tables, dude? Like, and he's like getting like offended by this because he's not fucking educated, and he chose not to be. He chose to be a lazy motherfucker. He chose to tell me his hopes and his dreams, and like we met on a dating site and we talked about dating for like it would never fucking work between us. We argue like we have none of the same fucking values. He's obsessed with fucking Trump. I think fucking Trump is a fucking moron. Like, I'm a journalist. So I will say, I have like said negative things about Trump on here. So I will say this right now. Okay, Trump was a good president in the following ways. He got our country out of debt by like working his business sense and working on that. And that's good. He was the first president who was not a politician prior to. So people trusted him. The problem is he is an evil, psycho, conniving, manipulative fuck. So he is not, and he hates the fucking media. Any president, any leader who is telling you not to listen to God's messengers put on this earth to inform you unbiasedly of what is happening in your world, who wants to block it like fucking Putin, like that's fucking evil. And he is wanted, he has coveted a relationship with Putin for decades. He has been trying to get a fucking tower in fucking Russia. Like, he is a fucking greedy fucking psychopath. You watch his fucking TV show, like, what is it called? He fires everybody. I don't even fucking know. Whatever. Look it up. I'm not gonna waste time looking up because I don't fucking care about Trump, and I think he's a fucking dickhole. Like, I watched one episode and I was like, this guy's a fucking asshole. And then all of a sudden he's running for fucking president. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? This is a joke. He's never gonna make it. He fucking wins. Because you fucking people are so fucking corrupt. That's why the end of the world is coming really fucking soon, because you guys voted for a Russian dictator as your fucking American president. What the fuck is wrong with you, America? I should have just packed my fucking bags and moved to Canada right after that. I thought about it. I really did. Okay, chapter 24. Do not envy wicked men. Don't envy Trump. Don't envy Putin. Do not desire their company. Don't desire Trump Towers. For their hearts plot violence. Yes, they fucking do. And their lips talk about making trouble. Hell yes, they fucking do. By wisdom, a house is built, and through understanding, it is established. Through knowledge, its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. A wise man has great power, and a man of knowledge increases strength. For waging war, you need guidance. For victory, many advisors. Wisdom is too high for a fool. In this assembly at the gate, he has nothing to say. He who plots evil will be known as a schemer. The schemes of folly are sin, and men detest a mocker. If you falter in times of trouble, how small is your strength? Rescue those being led away to death. Hold back those staggering towards slaughter. If you say, but we knew nothing about this, does not he who weighs the heart perceive it? Does not he who guards your life know it? Will he not repay each person according to what he has done? Eat honey, my son, for it is good. Honey from the comb is sweet to your taste. Know also that wisdom is sweet to your soul. If you find it, there is a future hope for you, and your hope will not be cut off. Do not lie in wait like an outlaw against a righteous man's house. Do not raid his dwelling place. For though a righteous man falls 7 times, he rises again. But the wicked are brought down by calamity. Do not gloat when your enemy falls. When he stumbles, do not let your heart rejoice, or the Lord will see and disapprove and turn his wrath away from him. Do not fret because of evil men or be envious of the wicked, for the evil man has no future hope, and the lamp of the wicked will be snuffed out. Fear the Lord and the king, my son, and do not join with the rebellious. For those who will send sudden destruction upon them, and who knows what calamities they can bring. Further sayings of the wise. These are also our sayings of the wise. To show partiality in judging is not good. It isn't. Whoever says to the guilty, you are innocent, peoples will curse him and nations denounce him, but it will go well with those who convict the guilty, and rich blessing will come upon them. An honest answer is like a kiss on the lips. Finish your outdoor work and get your fields ready after that. Build your house. Do not testify against your neighbor without cause, or use your lips to deceive. Do not say, I'll do to him as he has done to me. I'll pay that man back for what he did. If I went past the field of the sluggard, past the vineyard of the man who lacks judgment, thorns had come up everywhere. The ground was covered with weeds, and the stone wall was in ruins. I applied my heart to what I observed and learned a lesson from what I saw. A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. And poverty will come on you like a bandit, and scarcity like an armed man. More Proverbs of Solomon, chapter 25. These are more Proverbs of Solomon, copied by the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah. It is the glory of God to conceal a matter, to search out a matter in the glory of kings. As the heavens are high and the earth is deep, so the hearts of kings are unsearchable. Remove the dross from the silver, and out comes material for the silversmith. Remove the wicked from the king's presence, and his throne will be established through righteousness. Do not exalt yourself in the king's presence, and do not claim a place among great men. It is better for him to say to you, come up here, than for him to humiliate you before a nobleman. What you have seen with your eyes, do not bring hastily to court. For what will you do in the end if your neighbor puts you to shame? If you argue your case with a neighbor, do not betray another man's confidence, or he who hears it may shame you, and you will never lose your bad reputation. A word aptly spoke is like apples of gold in settings of silver, like an earring of gold or an ornament of fine gold. Is a wise man's rebuke to a listening ear? Like the coolness of snow at harvest time is a trustworthy messenger to those who send him. He refreshes the spirit of his masters. Like clouds and wind without rain is a man who boasts of gifts he does not give. Through patience, a ruler can be persuaded, and a gentle tongue can break a bone. If you find honey, eat just enough. Too much of it, and you will vomit. Seldom set foot in your neighbor's house. Too much of you, and he will hate you. Like a club or a sword or a sharp arrow is the man who gives false testimony against his neighbor. Like a bad tooth or a lame fool is resilience on the unfaithful in times of trouble. Like one who takes away a garment on a cold day. Or like vinegar poured on soda is one who sings songs to a heavy heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat. If he is thirsty, give him water to drink. In doing this, you will heap burning coals on his head, and the Lord will reward you. As a north wind brings rain to a sly tongue so a sly tongue brings angry looks. Better to live on a corner of the roof than share a house with a quarrelsome wife. Like cold water to a weary soul is good news from a distant land. Like a muddied polluted well is a righteous man who gives way to the wicked. It is not good to eat too much honey, nor is it honorable to seek one's own honor. Like a city whose walls are broken down is a man who lacks self-control. Okay, guys, so that is okay. So I wanted to point out one sign that you know that Solomon was a good ruler and that people respected him and his wisdom that he asked God for is that in chapter 25, when they go on to say these are more Proverbs of Solomon, these are more Proverbs of Solomon copied by the men of Hezekiah, king of Judah. So like other people from a completely different king, like a different king of Judah, Hezekiah, king of Judah, and his men copied this wisdom that God gave Solomon, and they shared it, continued the wisdom that he had given. Like Solomon wrote his stuff, or someone wrote it for him. It's like, I don't know, his whatever, some messenger person wrote it for him. And then another king of Judah, Hezekiah, had other men copy his wisdom and share it. That's a good leader, guys. That is a good leader. Okay. So that is it for this. Stay tuned. I got a lot of stuff to cover with you guys today. And I have nothing going on until the afternoon. So buckle up. Bye.